How we doing, guys? Welcome to the preview and the predicted lineup. Crystal Palace against Arsenal, and I absolutely hate no football over the course of the weekend, and we have to wait all the way to the Monday night. It's one of those ones, isn't it? You just sit and watch all the other games and you just can't beat, football over the weekend, but you have to just sit and wait and wait and wait. But it's here, and it's, like I said, Crystal Palace away. Played them at the start of last season. First game, actually, got a really good result. Given some of the previous results at Crystal Palace, it was actually nice to get off to winning ways. It's going to be an interesting game because what do you expect from Crystal Palace? They won their opening game. I thought they were very comfortable, to be quite honest with you, in that game. But obviously Roy Hodgson is at Crystal Palace. It's a permanent fixture now. He's returned. Of course, Wilfried Zaha is no longer at Crystal Palace, which is brilliant for Arsenal because he always seems to do something against us, or he ends up rolling all over the place and getting a penalty. But all jokes aside, he's a good player, and he's always caused us problems. So not having him there is actually very beneficial. On the flip side of that, you've got Elise on the other side. Now, I didn't think that we would be facing him in this game. It looked, for all intents and purposes, that he was going to be a Chelsea player. And then out of nowhere, he signed a new contract last week. And yeah, it's random. It's just weird. I don't know. I think he'll probably end up leaving maybe January or at the end of the coming season and whatnot. But yeah, it's just a weird one. So he's going to be a player that you have to watch out for because I really like him. He's a good player. And yeah, listen, at Selhurst Park, it's going to be their first home league game of the season. It's going to be, a difficult atmosphere. It always is at Selhurst Park. We always know about, the atmosphere and what they create there. So it's going to be one of those that we have to manage. But we did it last season. Like I said, we played them first game of the season at Crystal Palace. So we've done it. We shouldn't be anything new. Of course, Jurriën Timber is not going to be available and isn't going to be available for the foreseeable. Which is a massive, massive blow. But listen, I think that we've got enough players there and a strong enough squad to be able to deal with Crystal Palace. The team lineup is going to be interesting. I think quite a bit of it probably takes care of itself. But at the same time, there's room for players to, maybe rotate, and we are going to start getting to that part of the season soon when Champions League comes along and everything else, where you're going to have to look at Premier League games and say, well, you know what, we're going to have to take this player out because we've got, such and such on Tuesday night or Wednesday night and big European game, and you save them for that. And it's balancing act, and this is where we're going to find out what we're like this season because it didn't really matter last season in the Europa League because you always knew that come Thursday night, we were going to go and completely change the team. It was irrelevant. So, yeah, completely different this time around. But, let's go and get into the predicted lineup. Goalkeeper. Now, obviously, this is a position you would normally say, Aaron Ramsdale, no issues, move on. But obviously, there's some competition there now with David Raya. Now, I don't think David Raya is going to be starting. I've seen some training videos of him and Ramsdale this week. Raya, man, he looks so good. I'll tell you something, he catches everything. But yeah, I don't think at the moment he's going to be, starting games. And Aaron Ramsdale is going to start this one. In the defence, first of all, Ben White, right back, straightforward. Don't need to say no more. The centre-backs, William Saliba and Gabriel. Gabriel, I think, tactically was left out in the first game against Nottingham Forest, but I think he's going to come in for this one. I don't think you're going to see Thomas Partey as the right back, like I was explaining. Why in a second and whatnot. And obviously Timber's gone. And yeah, so those are the two centre-backs. Left back would be Zinchenko, back in contention. He will be the one that plays the inverted role. Very, very key to the way that we play. And if we can keep him fit, That's the biggest issue. It's not his ability and what he brings to the team. It's his fitness. But Zinchenko will come straight back into the side. Next up, I'm going to have Thomas Partey and Declan Rice. And Thomas Partey played kind of that inverted role on the right side. And you lose so much when he's not in that midfield area. So for me, he goes in there. So does Declan Rice. Slowly getting up to the levels that we know he can get up to. There were some really good moments against Nottingham Forest, and I think that it's a very straightforward one for me, and that's what I would be going with. The attacking areas now, right hand side, Bukayo Saka. It's a very straightforward one. We actually played a game behind closed doors at Colney this week against Luton and beat them 3-0, and Saka played in that. It seems staggering that he played in that one. So did Trossard, scored a couple of goals. Saka scored. But listen, very straightforward for me. He plays. Next one doesn't even need to have any explanation or anything else. It's Odegaard. Like I said, doesn't need an explanation. Now, this is where we're going to have some debates now, because we've got Martinelli. And it's like, does Trossard play out there? Where does Kai Havertz play? Does nketiah play? And I think it's an intriguing one at the moment. And I think that we're going to go with Martinelli. I genuinely think we will. Looked a lot better against Nottingham Forest in spells. But I do, think that he will start it. And that's what Mikel Arteta will go with. The striker, I think you've got three selections, to be quite honest with you. Do you go with Trossard and Kai Havertz? Either one of them playing that kind of false nine. And then nketiah, who plays more as a number 9. Oh, it's an interesting one. But I actually think that Mikel Arteta is going to go with Kai Havertz. If he had to make the choice between the three, I think he will go with him. He's happy with the way he's playing. I think that there's been an over-exaggeration to some of his performances, and there's this, perception that he hasn't actually done well. Yes, we could have a little bit more, but he's still settling in, getting to understand the way that we play. It's always difficult coming from a mid-table team and, changing the way that you play and trying to raise your levels to a club at the top. So, I think that Kai Havertz will start this game. Like I said, I think if Mikel had to make the decision, that's what he would go with. So, listen, there we go. That is my predicted lineup and the preview for the game. I think that's a strong lineup. And I think we'd have quality on the bench as well to bring on. As usual, let me know in the comment section what you think. Do you agree with the 11? Would you change it? If you would change it, let me know in the comment section where you would change it. And I'm going to try and interact with a few of you. And we can have a debate over who plays what, where, and everything else. So there we go. There's going to be a watch along for this game. Looking forward to that one. There's going to be the match reactions, player ratings, everything else. On the Monday, of course, there's going to be the DT's Daily, rounding up all the Premier League games over the weekend. Listen, we'll see what happens. And I'm looking forward to this game. Let's try and get another 3 points. Man City have won again, of course. Tough game against Newcastle, and you thought that might be one where maybe, nah. We'll hopefully get those 3 points, so we'll see. So, listen, if you are new around here, like I said, make sure you hit the subscribe button, press the notification bell, and I will see you lot very soon. I'm out of here.